President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday joined other Christian faithfuls for a Sunday Mass at the St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Parklands, Nairobi. The service was conducted by Father Clement Kachenja, while the sermon was delivered by Father INST Kamuyu. Addressing the congregation immediately after service, President Kenyatta thanked Christians for praying for him and his government. Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday afternoon traveled to Abuja, Nigeria, where he will attend the special summit of the African Union on HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. During the visit, President Kenyatta will hold talks with his host President Goodluck Jonathan and also officially open the Kenya Chancery and the residence of the High Commissioner in Abuja. Over to the Republic of Ghana. Minister for the Interior Kwasi Akwoi has said public education was key to preventing outbreaks in the country. He therefore emphasized on the need to intensify public education right from schools, homes, communities and marketplaces to sensitize the public on ways to avoid fire, saying government was putting up measures to start the education. In Ghana again, Honorable Alhaji Inusa Fuseni, Member of Parliament and Sector Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, has called for mining contracts negotiated between government and mining multinationals to be conducted in a spirit of truth and transparency to ensure a fair and equitable distribution of benefits for all stakeholders. In South Sudan, the National Parliament of the Republic of South Sudan on Monday endorsed two measure bills, the Media Authority Bill and Access to Information Bill, to become law. The bills, if signed into law, will serve to provide, among other provisions, freedom of the press, access to information and protection of the rights of journalists in the Republic. In Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwean Human Rights Commission has urged Zimbabweans to be peaceful during and after the harmonized elections slated for July 31st so that the process will be free and fair. ZHRC yesterday said in a statement that it was ready to receive complaints about possible human rights violations ahead of these elections. In Rwanda, President Paul Kagame on Friday, July 12th, presided over the swearing-in of the Minister of the East African Community, Jacqueline Mukonjaire, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Patrick Nyamvumbe, and Dan Munyuva, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations in the Parliament building. President Kagame promised support to the newly sworn-in officials. President Uhuru Kenyatta has reaffirmed that his government's foreign policy will be geared towards deepening trade relations with member states of EAC, among other African nations. Addressing the Kenyan diaspora in Nigeria after officially opening the new constructed Chancery and High Commissioner's official residence in Abuja, the president said intra-Africa trade diplomacy will form the mantra of Kenya's foreign policy. Still in Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta has called upon African countries to fully utilize the existing world-class pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities in the continent that have the capacity to produce drugs to win the war against HIV and AIDS. Speaking during a special summit on HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria, known by its acronym ATM, at Abuja International Conference Center, the president impressed on African leaders to support the manufacturing facilities by providing markets for the products within the continent. South Sudan Speakers Forum aimed at strengthening good governance yesterday kicked off in Juba, bringing together all the governors from the 10 states. Speakers, ministers of parliamentary affairs, the national executive and the leadership of council states. Opened by President Salva Kiir Mayardit, the three-day event, according to Honorable Speaker James Wani Iga of the National Assembly, will act as a robust coordinating point between the national legislature and the state parliaments. In South Sudan, approximately 1,000 South Sudanese returnees who had previously been stranded in the border town of Renk arrived in the capital Juba yesterday on an International Organization for Migration (IOM) organized barge convoy. Upon arrival, the returnees were registered and escorted to the Juba Way station, from where they will be transported by road to their final destinations of choice. Equatorial Guinea board meeting of the National Program of the Fight Against Malaria. The leaders of this program met to plan their activities for the second and third quarter of this year in the conference room of the headquarters of the company Marathon. The meeting was chaired by the Director General of Public Health, Camilo Ella, and assisted by the National Director of National Malaria Program, Dr. Matilde Riloha. Guinea again audience of the President of the Republic. The head of state, His Excellency Obiangoima Mbazogo, granted an audience on Thursday to the special envoy of the President of the Republic of Congo-Brazzaville, the diplomatic advisor Martin Aduki. During this meeting, the head of state was given a textual message sent by his counterpart, President Denis Sassou Nguesso. Republic of Cameroon, the Prime Minister, head of government Philemon Yang Public Procurement Authority, on Tuesday, July 9th, opened a national workshop on the development of the Cameroonian government procurement system. The workshop aimed to make more efficient and transparent public procurement includes all actors in the system, not leaving out operators, bidders, and those responsible for the procurement, control, regulation, and resolution of litigation. The government portal of this country reveals that leading medical experts and policymakers from across the world gathered in Kigali on Monday, July 15, to tackle non-communicable diseases like cancer and heart disease. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with partners in health, organized a two-day inaugural meeting of the Non-Communicable Disease NCD Synergies Network to focus on the fight against NCDs in low and middle-income countries. Now moving over to Zambia, Patriotic Front Nchanga, Member of Parliament Wilbu Simusa, has denied reports linking him to Mivani Construction Limited, the company that has failed to complete works on township roads in Chingola. Chingola residents have expressed disappointment with Mivani, prompting some councillors to call for the cancellation of the contract and have it given to another company. In Zambia, construction of the Mokambo underground copper mine in Mufulira is to start soon after the approval of an environmental impact assessment, known by its acronym EIA, by the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA. The mine, which is being developed by Changfa Resources Limited, CRL of China, has been closed since 1976 due to falling copper prices on the international market and flood problems. In Liberia, with hundreds of Bazonians as witnesses to history, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on Monday officially dedicated the Dianble-Gebenzon Highway, formerly the Buchanan Highway, an 80.08-kilometer expanse of road that stretches from Cotton Tree in Magibi County to the port of Buchanan in Grand Bassa County. The name of the new highway combines the Bassa names for the Farmington River, the Mechin River, and Buchanan City. Now in Cameroon, the chairman of the Ivorian Council was at the Star Building. On behalf of the head of state, President Paul Biya, the Prime Minister and head of government received in audience on Monday, July 15, the President of the Constitutional Council of Ivory Coast, Professor Francis Wadi, on a sub-regional tour that will take him to South Africa to interact with peer institutions. In Ivory Coast, Finance Bill Amending Commission adopted in the National Assembly. The draft supplementary budget on the state for the year 2013 has been adopted by the National Assembly on Monday, July 15 by unanimous vote of members of the Committee on Economic and Financial Affairs. Presented by the Minister to the Prime Minister in charge of Economy and Finance, Kaba Niel, the new budget was induced with the addition of 69,197,848,472 francs CFA, making it an increase of 6%. Moving over to the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday joined other African heads of state and government for the official closing ceremony of the two-day Special African Union Summit on HIV and AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria (ATM) at Abuja International Conference Center. The summit, dubbed Abuja Plus 12, which commenced on Monday 15 July, closed late afternoon yesterday with a declaration on a raft of measures on the way forward towards achieving health targets in relation to ATM In Kenya again, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Nigerian counterpart Goodluck Jonathan on Monday, July 15, witnessed the signing of 3 bilateral agreements to help boost ties between the two countries. The agreements were signed by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretaries Ambassador Amina Mohammed and her Nigerian counterpart Olugbenga Ashiru. In Equatorial Guinea, audience at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, Agapito Mba Mokwi, received in audience in his office at the ministerial headquarters the Chancellor of the Embassy of Spain, Diego Martinez Belio. During the audience, in addition to discussing bilateral issues between Equatorial Guinea and Spain, both personalities also spoke of the arrival of the new ambassador of Spain to Equatorial Guinea. And finally, for today, still in Equatorial Guinea, President of Benin visits the country. A delegation from the Republic of Benin, headed by the head of state Thomas Boni Yayi and composed of ministers of planning and finance Marcel de Souza and Jonas Biang, carried out a 24-hour walking visit to the city of Malabo. The visit, part of the cooperation agreement signed between Benin and the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, also served to strengthen the ties of friendship and brotherhood between the two governments.